Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Pete Malandrone.
Hello, brothers.
And we'll
nice to see you in men's clothing.
Thank you. Enough of that. Hello, Mum. Follow Pete to brianMay World and see what's going on. So what guitars we're taking out this time then, Mr. Malandrone?
Well, we've got the original, obviously, the old girl, which is not here at the moment, it's with Brian. We've got a spare, which is one of the Greg Fryer spares, marked with an E, so I know which one it is, which is essential. We've also got a drop D tuning Fryer guitar for fat bottom girls. I also have a spare for that, which is an Andrew Guyton one guitar, which sits there, which is the green one. And I also have one of the new advert time, one of the new improved, one of the new brianMay super guitars, which is tuned a semitone down for a song called Bad Company, which is one of Paul's songs. So that's what I'm taking. We've also got down, we'll go down there later, but there's some acoustics down the front. I think he's got one down there, one 12-string acoustic, which my colleague Steve Pryor looks after. So I'm not interested in that.
No.
I'd do the noisy stuff up here. And the way we get into the mission control here is, obviously this is a guitar strap. First thing it hits, is a treble booster, which is right there. We've tried treble boosters at this end, we've tried treble boosters on the floor, we've tried treble boosters everywhere, and it doesn't work properly. It doesn't sound right unless you have it first in line. So these are custom made ones. They're actually the same as the Greg Fryer touring treble booster, but they're smaller and lighter. Obviously 2.5 hour show. It's quite heavy to have strapped to you the whole time. From there we go into this radio transmitter, which is a Sennheiser system. From that we go into this receiver here. The original guitar will go to this one, the spares will go to this one. This box here, that's 3 reds, is red special, strangely enough. See, there is method in my madness.
Yeah, right.
This switches the pack between this system and this system. This one switches between the radio system and a spare guitar lead. If the radio system completely fails, then we have a guitar sitting out there with a treble booster and a great big long lead, which will reach right down to the front of the stage. Right. So if everything goes completely to ratchet with the radios, then we can put Brian on the lead and work on these two. Works. Okay. This one switches from these two to these two. So depending on where I am in the world, frequency-wise, obviously you don't want the police or the ambulance ever coming over your guitar system, because that's a little bit too Spinal Tap.
Indeed.
So then from there we have one output, which goes then into this box here, which is very, very interesting. We might have to go around the back for this, but basically, sorry, it doesn't go into this one, it goes into this one. Basically from here it splits then into a loop switcher, which is controlled by this up here. So basically in here there are 10 lots of sends and returns, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. These sends and returns are attached to whichever effects box I want to put on it. At the moment we're using 1, 2, 3. At the moment we're using 5 effects boxes, and the first thing that goes in, is the Crybaby. Rack-mounted Crybaby, which is over everything, it's over all of the amps, so it's on the centre and the left and right. It then goes to this, so I apologise for that. So yeah, the loop switcher, we're using 5 at the moment. They switch over, you can't daisy chain them. There's no reason for me to ever do that. With the boxes that I don't use stomp pedals, I use rack mount stuff, just because I work for a millionaire and he can afford it. And if you're gonna work for a millionaire, you might as well have the best gear. So there's never a reason for me to have to daisy chain effects, which is why they're changeover ones. It just makes it easier as well for me. I don't have to press 2 buttons to do something. Right, the other thing we've got up here is this board here controls this MIDI controller, which is attached to one of the effects boxes down there. This is for just various little tricks with the pitch shifting. Okay. Little noises that we do, but basically, as you know, Bradders, if all this wasn't here, and Brian had one AC30, one treble booster, and his guitar, then he could probably do a show on that quite happily. This is a fairy dust, really. It's not. I mean, you know, this justifies my existence, but he doesn't need all this to do what he does. You know, it's all just little bits and bobs, and that's it, really.
Okay.
From here, I'd like to walk this way. There's an interesting spaghetti.
Wow.
Yes, in the back there. And look, people throwing tape. I just work with a lot of juveniles.
I've never seen green roadie poo
I know,
before.
I tell you what.
Green roadie
Green
poo.
roadie poo.
I've never seen the green stuff. You must have been on
we
tour
like
for
to be
ages.
different. So basically it all goes like that inside and then comes out.
Yeah.
It comes out and hopefully it works. Yeah, it comes out with basically a centre, left and right.
Sure.
The centre amplifier is unaffected. It's basically straight through signal. And the left and right are the affected signal. So if there's a chorus, it'll only be on the left and right. Okay. So we have three leads which come out to here. So we have the left-hand amplifier, the centre amplifier, and the right-hand amplifier. We also have a mute switch out the front, which Brian can take for silent tuning, which is up there. We have a set list, we have a fan because it's so hot. These three amps here, none of the amps here are standard. I don't think we have any standard amps whatsoever. They're all modded. Right. To some degree. The two outside ones here are made by the guy who made the guitars, which is Greg Fryer. They were basically designed for the We Will Rock You shows and have proved very reliable and great sounding. So we're actually using them. They've been in basically for all of rehearsal. This grey top one here is a slightly older one. Solid state rectifier. Bloody hell, there's a horse turned up. Look, there's a horse. God. Sorry about that. Solid state rectifier. God. Right, so solid state rectifier.
And the horse. You don't even know that.
Horse, yeah, hey, what's going on there? Solid state rectifier. Oh, yeah, they don't sound the same. They do sound the same. I don't care what anybody says. So we have solid state. This is sort of late 70s, early 80s model. Basically, these have more gain and a bit more fizz. This one has a lot of warmth. Right. So the blend of the three is what we're after, really, sound-wise. Much the same up here. These are the Dave Peterson modded ones, which really do go up to 12. So we actually, the first time in 15 years that I've ever turned an amplifier down for Brian, we actually have to back these off a bit because they are just too hot. But they're great. And again, it's all about building reliability into this. So none of these are standard. They're notoriously difficult to work with. They're notoriously unreliable. They catch fire. We had one catch fire the other day. Very exciting. Smelled like Scalextrics. You remember that smell? Yeah. As soon as you smell that on the stage, bad. Right? Bad smell. So as soon as we smell that, we start to worry. That's it really, sort of setup-wise. What else? Out the front here. The only thing that we have out the front is the good old wah-wah pedal. Everything else I do from there. But I say, there's no point Brian having a pedal board out here. There's not enough changes for me to want to put him one out here. Plus, it gives him so much more freedom. He doesn't have to worry about coming back here. Sure. The only thing he has to worry about coming back here for is that, really. Everything else, slide. He's got one on the strap, but...
and he plays with sixpences, I believe. Is that true?
Do you know, he does, Brad. Isn't that amazing?
Honestly, I'd never heard that before.
Yes, and look, and here are some.
Oh, goodness
look
me.
at that, English sixpence.
I say.
Cost 5p each. They're cheaper than picks, these.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely, cheaper than picks. Yeah, and that's the best thing about working for Brian, is at Christmas, you've always got a sixpence to put in your Christmas pudding, you see. That's why I went for this gig. That's why I applied, you know.
Christmas pudding and old coins.
I have got more of these floating around my house than but yeah, there you go. So everything really. I say sixpence, treble booster, Brian's guitar, Brian, one AC30. Thank you very much. Don't need all the rest of it really. It's just him, as you know, Bradders, as you know.